Hello and welcome back, or welcome. I am Book Lover Lorna and I have set myself a reading challenge. This challenge that I have set myself has come about because I watched Beth slash BooksNest video on YouTube. It was just a reading vlog, and in the week she managed to read 7 books, and I was like, why don't I set myself a little challenge to read 7 books in 7 days? So that's exactly what I'm doing. So this is inspired by Beth. Thank you very much for her video. I've just started to watch her on YouTube, follow her on Twitter, which is where I actually found her. And if I succeed, then this is all down to her inspiration. But I have decided to try and read 7 books in 7 days. Now, I am on furlough at the moment, so at least for another week. So I thought, well, why don't I use this week to read 7 books in 7 days? Just makes sense, doesn't it? So you're not going to get a lot of makeup, as you can see here. I mean, my hair needs a wash. It's actually kind of snowy in Wales today. I mean, I live in Cardiff, so the city is closer to the, it's basically, well, it is by the sea, and it's a little bit warmer here, so we haven't had that much snow. There is a little bit, I can see out the windows and stuff, it's kind of melting now. But I was going to go for a run today, and therefore, you know, get sweaty hair and wash it, but don't want to die by falling over, and I'm not very stable on my feet, so I am not going to have my run today. So you'll just have to deal with this hair. I mean, it's not even greasy. It just could do with a wash. Like, my hair, I've kind of trained it to not get so greasy anymore unless I straighten it. So it's, you know, we've got a bit of a, what are we calling this? Bit of a slob thing. Like, I've got leggings on, I've got my hoodie on. Like, I'm just keeping warm, to be quite honest, because it is freezing cold. Got the heating set up high. I've even got my tumble dryer going, drying clothes, because I know that'll warm up my flat. So anyway, we're currently on day 1. So I have done an hour of reading this morning, and I think what I'm going to do, because a book a day feels like quite a lot. So what I'm kind of going to do to conquer that is to sit down and set a timer for an hour, because what I'm doing at the moment, because you know, I'm on my own here and there's not a lot going on, I will constantly be going to my phone. So I've set, well, what I did this morning and what I think I'm going to do, set a timer on my phone for an hour or however long I want to sit and read for, and I'm not allowed to go on my phone for that time until the timer goes off. I literally have to read. I'm not allowed to get up until that timer goes off, and then I can stop reading. So this morning, I've just got my book here. I started reading Knife Edge. So what I will actually say, for these 7 books, I want them to be good sized books. Like, I don't want to read really skinny short books. I'm saying like 200, 250 pages or more, hopefully. I mean, by the end of the week, when I've not read 7 and I'm like whacking out the 100-page books, I'll just be made a fool of. But at this point in my 7 days, we're saying that I want them to be about 200, 250 plus pages. So this one is, now I can't remember exactly. Let's have a look. That's the next part of the next book. Okay, so this one is 356 pages. For sitting down for an hour with a timer, I read to page 98. So what we like 27 something percent through, something like that. It's just under 30% really, isn't it? So maybe about 26, 27% of the way through. If I put it into my Goodreads, then it would tell me how many percent, but I haven't, so yeah. So I'm gonna read Knife Edge first. When I got the first page, I was like, oh, I've made a bad decision here. This is one that I just don't pick up, even though, like, I want to read it. It just never entices me to pick it up. The whole series, like, I want to finish them, but I just never feel a need to pick it up. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, I'm gonna sit down in chunks, get it read. But then I read the first page, and it talked about like how, and it was like Mallory Blackman's like forward in the book to say it's quite like a deep, heavy book in comparison to the others in the series. So it kind of dwells quite a lot on a lot of negativity, and I was like, this is really not what I should be reading when I'm stuck at home by myself in a lockdown and I can't see anyone. So I did, first of all, think, oh my god, shouldn't have picked up this book during this time period, but it's fine. It's not too bad so far. So I'm 98 pages in. There are a few bits where I'm like, whoa, we get to this chapter and I'm like, oh, what's happening? It is quite good. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of, it feels like a while ago that I read Noughts and Crosses, but it would have been maybe like 9 months ago. I'm not really sure, but it feels like it is reminding me of some of the things that I've completely forgotten because I have the memory of a goldfish. But anyway, I'm going to head out now and go get some groceries at the supermarket, get some kind of chores done because I've done an hour, then I'll come back, probably do like another hour. I don't have to do my run today, but that'll be done tomorrow now instead. I'm going to do a roast tonight, obviously vegetarian because your gal's vegetarian. So I need to get, I think the only thing I don't have actually is carrots and stuff for stuffing. So I am going to head out into the cold. I think it is like super cold, so I've actually like literally got my hat ready, waiting for me to put it on. So I need to take my hair out really, don't I? Because else I'll just be looking like I have no hair. Oh, dropped it. So yeah, that's update for day one. Hopefully, you know, I'm making good progress at the moment. I did sleep in a little bit this morning. Well, I didn't necessarily sleep in, I just didn't wake up because I was really tired. So we are kind of at midday already, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. 100 pages in, well, 98. So we're not doing too bad. If I come back from supermarket and do like another hour's chunk, we should be making good progress. Yes. Pray for me. Okay, it is now a little bit later in the day. I've been to Asda. Definitely didn't go for that run because the pavements look lethal. Like the roads are okay because, you know, gritters, thank you to the gritters, but the pavements just sheets of ice. So that's not for me. Not going out walking, running places today, so that's fine. I did my food shop, came back, put my stuff away, did a little cupboard organisation, and I've done an hour's reading, and then I French plaited my hair, because when your hair needs a wash, what do you do with it? You French plait it. So that's what I've done. So I've done another hour. I did a bit more than 100 pages this time. Was I on 98? So I think I've done 120 because I'm on, oh no, just over. So I'm on 219 now, which according to Goodreads is 57%, which I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Does anybody remember? Oh, I've just read myself a spoiler. So it's 355. I could actually just, you know, work it out myself. Right, so 219 divided by 355 is actually 61%, so I don't know what Goodreads is on about, but it's obviously got the wrong page number. So, okay, so we're 61%, let's say 60% for ease of making it easy. 60% of the way through this one. I'm enjoying it. It's not as sad and like down as I was expecting it to be, which is good. You know, that's saved me. So that's quite good. It's interesting to see what's happening. I think this isn't going to be the best book in the series, but it does say at the beginning like it's needed for the other books to happen, so I'm going to be really interested. I honestly have no recollection of what happened in these books. I just cannot remember. So it's like reading them with fresh eyes. It's very much reading them for the first time, even though it's actually not. There are some sections, so each section is kind of from a different character perspective, and some of them I'm enjoying more than others. I'm enjoying Jude's quite a lot, even though he is the big bad man in this book, but his chunks are quite, they draw me in. That's what, yeah, they draw me in, and I do enjoy his chapters quite a lot. So now, I mean, it's, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I am struggling to stay awake. As you can tell, I'm a little bit sleepy. I really want to kind of just sit down and read more, but I need to do a little bit of cleaning and tidying, put some stuff in the loft before I start cooking dinner a little bit later on. So yeah, no reading for a little bit. I'll do some organising, some sorting. If I stay off my phone and stay focused, then I can see quite how much I can get done, and then potentially do like another half an hour or hour stint before I go to cook dinner. We'll see. I think I'm on track for finishing it today. We'll soon see, won't we? I mean, 130 pages left. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I mean, obviously cooking dinner, and then my friend is coming round because we have a support bubble because we both live on our own. So it depends what time she leaves as to how much I can get done before I go to bed. But the more I can get done before she comes over, the better chance I'm going to have of finishing this today. Obviously, this 7 books in 7 days, I don't have to specifically finish a book on each day. If I read a little bit slower and then I read more the next day, that's absolutely fine. Or if I... That was... My heating just made a noise. I thought someone was breaking in. Or if I read like a huge amount in one day and I get ahead of myself and I start a second book on one day, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be a book per day, just 7 books over the course of the 7 days. So day 1 is so far going so good, I guess. Yeah. I hope this lighting situation is, you know, workable because it's getting dark outside, and without the light on, I just look like a fuzzy thing on the camera. Now, I'm making good progress. I've just done another 30-minute stint, and to be quite honest, for another maybe 45-50 minutes stint and I can have this finished. So I'm now on 276, which means I have 80 more to read, which is not too bad. I don't know when I'm going to read them. I'm not going to read it now, so I'm going to start cooking roast dinner, getting the potatoes on and everything, and maybe this will be like as I go to bed tonight, possibly. I'm not sure. Like while I'm cooking, I might get in a few pages, but we'll see. I'm not 100% sure on that because if I get distracted from my cooking, then it'll all go tits up essentially, and it will just not. I just have to concentrate on one thing at a time. So yeah, anyway, this is quite good. I'm getting to the points where I can see where the sadness is kind of coming through the story, but it's not written in a way that makes you sad, which is quite good because there are quite a lot of sad books which, or books where there are sad things in them, but when you're reading them, they make you feel really down as well. But thankfully, this book does not do that. You kind of have to decipher the sadness from what's written, so that's good. It's not making me feel sad and lonely, so that's nice. I think, like I said earlier, for the whole series, I don't think this is going to be like the top book. It's a bit lackluster, maybe. This is definitely like a filler book. I don't think on its own this is a mind-blowing book. It's very much kind of, you need the rest of the story surrounding it in order to make this good. There are good parts to it. Like Jude's story, I do quite get along with. Obviously I don't like what he's doing, if you've read this book. But I find that quite good reading. As far as Seffi's part of the story, and I get why, because of the sadness that is supposed to be coming from that, it just feels like there's not a lot going on, which I get. I understand why, but like I say, this doesn't, you couldn't read this on its own and be like, wow, this is an amazing book. It is a small part of a much greater story, and I have 80 pages of it left to read, and I need to start cooking roast dinner. So I'm gonna go now, cook dinner. I might chuck Friends on my laptop while I'm cooking. Maybe. Yeah, I might do that. Just for something to watch, and I'll see you all later. Okay, so it's 10:20 on day 1 still. I haven't read any more since I last spoke to you guys. Wow, the lighting is awful. So I've watched Sex and the City and had my roast, and my friend who is my social bubble has just left, so it is time for me to have a quick shower, and then I will get into bed and read these last 80 pages. I will definitely obviously have them done by midnight if it's 10:20. I don't want to stay up that late, so I'm really hoping, like I said earlier, that it'll take me, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes or something like that. And then I can be in bed at a reasonable time. I think today I've learnt that I should get up earlier in the morning. Today I just didn't set an alarm and I laid in, and my, what was it, like 9:30, 10 o'clock wake up did set me a little bit behind on starting this book. But tomorrow hopefully we won't make the same mistake, although, you know, on furlough it's just, and lockdown, it's just such a temptation to not set an alarm. It's so enjoyable to not do that. So yeah, I'm just going to have a quick shower and then I'm going to jump straight back into this one and get it finished. Okay, it's 11:25 and I have finished. So book 1, day 1, well done me. It took 45 minutes to finish it. It's a little bit later than what it should be because I did get lost on TikTok a little bit first, so oops for that. In total today this has taken me 3 hours and 15 minutes, which I think is actually really quite good. Maybe it feels like it usually takes me longer to read books because I'm constantly going on my phone, but today, as I've been reading, I've properly put my phone away, which, funny enough, matches my bedding, so that's funny. But yeah, so finished this one. I'm giving it 4 stars. Also, I'm not really going to make much sense now because I'm so tired. But yeah, finished this now. 4 stars. I'm kind of looking forward to reading the next one. It really leaves you on quite a cliffhanger. So I did kind of have a little look at the end. It gives you like the first chapter of the next book. So I did have a cheeky little read of like the first page of that, just so I wasn't left on quite such a cliffhanger, because I can't stand a cliffhanger. I need to know what happens. So yeah, 4 stars for that. Day 1, we've done pretty well. You know, can't see me now because I'm all ready for bed. I'm in my PJs. So far so good. Day 1 complete, 1 book complete, only 6 more to go. Fantastic. I'll see you tomorrow. And this nail polish looks weird in this light. It's actually really nice orangey holiday colour. Holiday, yeah, as in like seaside colour, but not in this light. So yeah, I'll just go like this. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Okay, day 2. I'm bringing you all the realness with lockdown. At home in my comfies, piglet top on, skin looking a state because I'm just basically living on sweets and chocolate at the moment. It's all these Easter, like, you know, cream eggs and the white chocolate Milky Bar mini eggs. Oh, like, I love sweets and chocolate so much. And at the moment, because I'm at home, I've got a, well, I've always had a like sweets and chocolate cupboard. And even when I was growing up back home, like I think that's why I've got one now, because my mum's always had one. And when you're at home all day, you just can't help but go to it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been eating a lot of sweets and chocolate, hence my skin. This is the situation that we're in. Now, this morning I picked up my next book. I have picked up We Just Clicked by Annabelle. Is that not just like the coolest name ever? I assume it's a pen name, but Annabelle. That's Annabelle. It's just such a cool name. So I've sat and read for an hour and I'm 111 pages in. Now, what I am kind of finding today is that I feel a bit like it's lazy to be sat reading. I don't know whether it's because it's like, it's such a beautiful day outside. Mind you, I've checked the weather. I haven't been outside yet. It is really, really cold outside by the looks of it. Let me check the temperature. But it's like completely blue sky, so sunny. And I will be going for my run today, but I'm saving it for about 2 o'clock because that's when it said it was going to be warmest. Yeah, so it's currently 1 degree outside, 1 degree Celsius, feeling like -2. So that's cold. But if I wait until 2 o'clock to do my run, it will be 4 degrees. I'm feeling like 1 degree. So still very cold, and I'll be layering up, but hopefully there won't be any ice left on the pavements. I can hope and pray, because my ankles are dodgy enough without actually twisting one. So yeah, it's super cold outside today, but super sunny. I think because it's super sunny, I just feel like lazy in my flat. So doing my like hour of reading, I was just like itching to kind of do something, but I don't actually want to do anything. Nor is there anything for me to do. Oh, I just noticed my daffodils are coming out. Oh, cute. That was random, sorry. My daffodils are suddenly coming out. My neighbours bought me daffodils. And I just felt like I kind of wanted to do something. Well, I didn't want to, but I just felt like I should be doing something. So hopefully my run later will like get some energy out of my system and I'll feel a bit more active and less lazy, I guess. Even though like when I'm at work and everything, I do need some time sometimes to just like chill, but there is such a thing as too much chilling. I've done a week of it now. So yeah, 111 pages in, enjoying this so far. It seems quite like stereotypical chick lit, but with like a modern day Instagram twist on it. I'm not sure if I love books that are based around like social media. I feel like because we're on it, we spend so much time on it anyway. I feel like when I read and I'm trying to not spend time on, you know, scrolling on Instagram and Twitter and all that, that it would be kind of nice to not read something about those things that I'm like sitting and trying to avoid. So I don't know whether this is me realising that books about social media are not for me. I don't know, because you know people are always like, oh, you know, I hate the, I don't know, lovers to enemies, enemies to lovers, friends to lovers things. I never really, when I'm reading them, I never really think, oh, I hate this kind of trope. But this might be my one where I'm getting one which I want to avoid. I mean, the writing is really nice and everything, very easy reading, very much like the way it's written. I can see where it's going, definitely in terms of like the romancy type of part of this book. I can definitely see where that's coming from. So far, I'm not enjoying it as much as her other book, which I've read, which was The Man I Didn't Marry. Is that what it's called? I think it was. Which actually, I don't think is out yet, but I had through NetGalley. The Man I Didn't Marry. So that is actually coming out 4th of February. So it'll be out by the time that you... Will it be out by the time you see this video? Just about, well, around the same time. So yeah, that one I did really enjoy. I actually gave that one 5 stars. And then this is her book that came out last year, which I'm reading. Although this isn't actually as highly rated. Oh, well, this has had 850 Goodreads ratings and the other one's only had 16 because it's not out yet. And one of those is me. So far, not as enjoying it as much as the other, but it's just easy reading, simple, it is what it is, kind of thing, and that's it. And now I did finish. Oh, it's just this side of me. I'm surrounded by just different books. Obviously, I did finish Knife Edge last night. You would have seen that just now. It's one of those books where, like, so this year, I've set myself the challenge of reviewing every single book that I read on Goodreads, like actually writing a physical review, not just putting the stars, because I usually just put the stars. Well, I have done in the past, but now I'm writing reviews for everything, and posting them to Amazon and etc. when I remember to. But this one I just kind of can't string any sentences together for. I don't know. It definitely feels like it's not going to be my favourite in the series. It did feel like a bit something and nothing, but it was still enjoyable at the same time. So I just don't know. I don't know where to put it. I really just can't place it. I think that once I've read more of the Noughts and Crosses books, I might be able to get more of like a placement of where I think this sits. But it was just one of those that you read it. You just read it. So I really don't know what to put on my review because I haven't read it yet and I don't want to just put like a really poo-poo review, trying not to swear, a really poo-poo review and just be like, oh yeah, it was okay. Looking forward to reading the rest of the books. But I kind of feel like I don't have any other thoughts about it. I literally don't, like I'm just meh. So I wrote that on one of my last reviews actually, meh. Obviously amongst other things, I didn't just write meh. Imagine, that would be the worst review ever. No reasoning to why I'd write meh, but yeah. So I don't know, we'll see. I'll leave it until a little bit later on today, have a bit more thinking about it, see if I can think of anything that I want to write for my review. But I have to put one because I've challenged myself to review every book properly. So we'll see. We'll see what point I get to with this reviewing it. But yes, I think I'm gonna, it's like midday now. Might do a little bit more reviewing. No, I might have a snack. No, I'll wait a little bit and then eat because it'll be a good time then between my eating and my running. I should probably, maybe I'll read to page 150 just to get to like a good point. This book, oh by the way, is 370 pages long. 370 pages. So we're not doing too bad. I think I'm like 30% of the way through or something like that. Not bad going. This is an interesting angle. Hi down there. I am just about to do my stretches and go for my run. So, I mean, it's 1:45 at the moment. By the time I've done my stretches and I actually leave the house, it'll probably be about 2 o'clock. I've done 2 half-an-hour reading sprints of We Just Clicked, and I'm now on page 219, which is about 50, I think it's 57 or 58% of the way through. It feels like, looking at that, that's what I've read and that's what I've not. It feels like I've read more than 58%, but I don't know, maybe that's not quite the case. But we all know anyway that once you get about halfway through a book, the second half you generally, either you read it quicker because you're like into the zone of how the book is written, or it just goes a lot quicker. So we'll soon see. I'm kind of enjoying it. The main character is a little bit like, she grates on me like a little bit, not massively, like I don't massively dislike her, I just kind of don't love her, I guess. So that's kind of, that is what it is. She's not my favourite person in the world. She's a little bit annoying. I'm definitely not loving the whole like social media thing. I just think it's a bit like to read about. It's a bit cringy. Like social media is cringy, but it's just reading it and how like desperate she is and doing all these like kind of what are essentially, I don't know, is it desperate things to get followers? I don't know. She's doing certain things, desperate things to get like paid content, but I guess if she wants that to be her job, then that kind of makes sense. But what the main character, Izzy, is like not putting herself through, but kind of doing in order to get followers and stuff like that. It's just not true to herself, and I don't really like that. I know that, you know, Instagram, social media is not everyone's like truest version of themselves. You don't see down days, you don't, you know, see stuff like that. You don't see the negativity. You only see the positive things, the best version of themselves that they want to show. But I don't know, I don't love it. I don't love it. The writing's absolutely fine. I think it's just the story idea that is not sitting with me amazingly. Like the writer, Annabelle, absolutely fine. Like her writing style. Some of the characters, oh, I'm getting out of breath. I haven't even gone for the run yet. Some of the characters are really like alright. I get along with them okay. Like I've been for coffee with them. Yeah, I get along with you just fine. No, I get along with them okay, but I think the idea of the story and the whole like desperate to gain followers on Instagram and making up. Let me just figure out what it says on the blurbs so that I don't ruin anything. Okay, yeah. So, like, being in a fake relationship to get more followers on Instagram, I mean, it's not really what I'm all about. I barely really believe in relationships, let alone fake ones. So it's just, it's not what I'm there for. It's not sitting with me amazingly. My bookmark is getting on my nerves. So yeah, we've got 42% left to go, which we'll see. I'm kind of at the stage where, like I say, I want to get outside and kind of do something. So even though I don't want to go for my run, and fun fact for you, I hate running, but I want to be the kind of person who not enjoys running, because I don't think anyone enjoys running, but can run like well. And I can kind of run. I've done a half marathon before, like a few years ago, but I had a period where I didn't run. That was 2016. I did the half marathon. It's now 2021, and I am set to do the half marathon, not this year, but next year, 2022, because it got postponed a year. But I don't like running. I do it to have like good heart health and stuff, and you know, because we live in a sad world where females cannot be out alone and stuff like that. So I want to be fit if there's ever, you know, an incident where I need to run. Even though I'm not a particularly fast runner, so don't hold much hope for myself in my life. But yeah, I want to be like fit and have a good strong heart, be fit on the inside. You know, I can be fit on the outside, that's easy enough, I go to the gym and stuff, but I feel like running gets you fit on the inside, gets your blood pumping, and usually it makes you feel really good. Even though it doesn't make you feel good when you're doing it, you feel like you're dying, and then when you get home, you're like, yes, like, I feel great. So yeah, we'll see. I will go for my run. I'm gonna try and do 6k today, 5 or 6k. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's really cold, so it depends how long it takes my lungs to adjust. And actually, I do have to put on another top because I wear a body warmer as well. But it's just not possible to wear just one top at the moment. I went out the other day wearing one long sleeve. I think it was this big black one actually, and my body warmer. And for the first like 2 kilometres, I was frozen. I was so cold. So I need to just do some stretches, warm up my muscles, get my legs going a bit, particularly my calves, because I get bad calves from running. So I'll do some foam rolling and then get out for my run. And I've got a bit of a headache at the moment. But I don't know if that's like all the being inside. Oh, this is all twisted. Because I haven't been outside since like yesterday lunchtime, or whether it's all the reading. It could be a combination of both, or it might just be a headache. I've drunk a lot of water, so it's not dehydration because I'm drowning. I'm weeing every 5 minutes. But yeah, hopefully either the run is going to make the headache really, really bad, or it's going to get rid of it. So I guess we'll soon see, and I'll see you later with a reading update. Probably when I've actually got clean hair. My goodness, Lorna's going to have clean hair for the first time in this video. It's amazing, honestly. Now that is groundbreaking. Good evening. You can now see that I have clean but wet hair, and it doesn't look great while it's drying. I am well aware of that, so let's move over the fact that, yeah, we've already accepted like low standards of looks this week, so we'll roll with it. Now, we've got into the kind of habit now, and I think what I'm going to do for this video is see how many hours I spend reading this week. So it was like, was it 3 hours 45 minutes it took me to read Knife Edge, just because I'm doing like those timing segments where like I put a timer on for an hour or half an hour and then like read a big chunk. I just realised I'm sat a bit like a hunchback because I'm trying to like fit myself in the viewfinder, and I'm also wearing the most unflattering jumper of all time, but it's a jumper that I used to wear a lot when I lived in halls when I was in my first year of uni, which is 4 whole years ago now, but I just found it at the bottom of a cupboard and wanted to wear it. So we're kind of getting there with the reading. I've done 2 hours and 45 minutes of We Just Clicked so far, so that's an hour less than yesterday, but it feels like I've been reading more. I don't know, I think it's because I'm not really in the reading zone today that it feels like it's taking quite a long time. So I did just do a 45-minute chunk, and I'm on page 297. So I have about 70, 80 pages left to go. Let's just see. So the last page number is 373, which means that I have got 76 pages left to read. So 76 pages is completely fine. Obviously, I will finish that this evening. I do kind of need to do some book editing, but I'm quite tired from, you know, doing nothing. Well, I did go for a run, but oh yeah, my run was okay, by the way. Actually, no, it wasn't great. It was hard, so I didn't do 6k, I did 5k because there was a lot of ice still on those pavements. So the minute I stepped out of my road, I slid on ice. Didn't fall over though, thank goodness. Oh, there's a helicopter going by. Thank goodness I didn't fall over, but it was a close call. So I was very cautious when I was running, and I was paying too much attention to that, and I got like a stitch. I got a stitch, and I barely ever get stitch. It was not enjoyable, and I couldn't go my usual route because I usually go down this path. I literally was at the end of the path, glanced down it, and all I could see was sheets of ice. So I was like, absolutely not risking my life today, kids. So I just had to run back and forward, like keep turning around. And if you know, like if you've ever run anywhere, you know that that's really, really challenging mentally, because you're heading towards your home and you're like, yes, I'm almost done. But you have to turn back around and then run away from your home again when you're already tired. You've got stitch, you're out of breath. So yeah, it wasn't the best run, but at least I did it. I got out, and it was actually really hot by the end of it because the sun was out. Even though the air was cold, once my body was hot, I was like, God, I'm gonna self-combust. So yeah, it wasn't the best run in the world, but that's fine. They can't all be really good. I've had some really good ones recently, so they can't all be amazing. So I am kind of tired. Now, I should have done some video editing like in the daytime, because I find it much easier to do during the daytime when my brain is just more awake. I do need to do some editing. I need to edit like a couple of videos really, which if I did like one a day, then I would, within a week, I would have like all the videos edited that I've already filmed, because I've done quite a good chunk of filming recently. But also, you know, trying to read 7 books in 7 days, so I have too many goals, like short-term goals. I need long-term goals. I have too many short-term goals. So yeah, we've got 76 pages left reading this. I've got about 20 minutes left until my dinner's ready. I've got some dinner in the oven, so I might do 20 mins of reading. I'm kind of bored with reading today. Like, that's bad, isn't it? I want a break. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna have to pick up like a slightly smaller book. So this is 270, so I need like a 200-page book if I can find one on my shelves. Actually, no. Tomorrow I was gonna read on my Kindle app on my iPad either a NetGalley book or one that I've been given to, what do you call it? Review. I've just remembered there is another paperback that I want to read this week or in these 7 days, which is a review book. So we'll see. Tomorrow I think it'd be nice to have a bit of a mix up so that I'm gonna get too, like, this sounds awful because I love reading books, but I'm gonna get bored of the repetitiveness of it. You can literally, lockdown has taught me over the past year, you can get bored of your own hobbies. You literally can. So I think tomorrow I'll read a book on my Kindle app. I don't have a Kindle because I don't read it enough to need one. I just use the app on my iPad. So start one of those tomorrow. Just need to finish this though. I really want to like get ahead of it. I just can't. I'm that kind of person. I just always want to get ahead of my like targets. I don't want to be on track. I want to be ahead so that I have less pressure. But I can't. I just can't get ahead because this is a lot of reading. So yeah. So far over the week, we've done how many hours? So 3, 4, 5. Maths. 6.5 hours of reading over 2 days. At the end of the week, do we think it's going to be like close to full-time job hours, aka like 40 hours? It could be. Wow, it is probably going to be, isn't it? Well, that's kind of sad. Or is that great? I don't know. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Is that great or is that sad? I'm just gonna leave us all to ponder on that one and get some reading done, because now it's even less time until my dinner's ready, so I'm gonna get some more pages read. Oh, also, I am kind of enjoying this a little bit more. It's less Instagrammy, but the main character is still getting on my nerves. Wow. I have finished We Just Clicked by Annabelle. It is like 7:15 in the evening. I am really very tired. I swear reading makes you so tired because you just sat and you never really like get your blood pumping, essentially. Now I have things to say about this book, so I'm going to give it 3 stars. I just felt it was too cliched. Like, obviously, you know, a romance chick lit book, they're always cliched. They're always going to be like that. Like, the whole point is girl meets boy, falls in love, well, there's a little bit of drama along the way, they fall out, and then they realise within the last 10 pages of the book they love each other. Is you know, that is a chick lit kind of book, and this just felt so cliche. I understand that most of my enjoyed chick lit books are probably also very cliche, but just Annabelle's other book that I read, the man I didn't marry. Oh, I can never remember if that's the right title. It was just so interesting. It was about a man who lost his memory, and his wife had to like try and rebuild his life and get him to fall back in love with her again. And it wasn't that cliche because, well, I mean, it's not every day that your husband loses his memory. So I feel like that was something a little bit different. I just realised the camera was wonky, so sorry about that. But this was just so cliche. I just didn't like the social media aspect to it. I get that the message was that you should be, you know, your most authentic self on social media because else it's only going to get you in trouble. Obviously, I mean, still no one is going to post their really bad stuff and everything on social media just because it's not what other people want to see. Like, you don't want to see other people chatting negative poo. Trying again not to swear. But I didn't like the social media part of it. Like I said earlier, reading it for me is about not being on social media, and because to be quite honest, if I'm not reading a book right now, I'm scrolling on my phone. And my phone is literally right here. I don't even get texts. Like, well, not that many. I just I'm always near my phone, and I would just pick it up and go on Instagram or TikTok for absolutely no reason. So reading for me is like, I want to get away from it a little bit. So I didn't really love this. This was actually, I think, was one that I got for £2 from Amazon on like a £2 book deal or something. I don't know. There were some £2 books, so I thought, oh, that one's on it. I thought Annabelle's other book that I read was really good, so I give it a go. It's definitely not her writing that I dislike. Like, completely appreciate like the writing. It's well written and everything. It's just the story doesn't sit with me. The whole aspect of being fake on social media and it coming to bite you on the bum, that's just, and then very cliche romance. I didn't love it, but I do still, like I say, you know, I have respect for the writing. It's just the story itself, the idea, I don't love. So 3 stars for that, which actually I haven't even put into my Goodreads yet. So I'm telling you, before I put it into my Goodreads, okay, I finished this book, 3 stars. See, I can write a review for this more easily than I can write a review for Knife Edge. This is the way it is. Ah, one of my besties, Agnes, has texted me, I have a question for you. Wow, this could either be one of the most silly things in the world or an incredibly deep and meaningful question where I have to question my life's existence. That's the way that either of her questions go. Oh, she's asking for a nut roast recipe. Well, I mean, that's not questioning my existence, nor is that silly. I take it back. Yeah, so really I need to, oh, there's a lot of people saying 3.5 stars in here. See, I wouldn't be quite so generous. Write a review, let's see. Okay, so review-wise, we're saying, and bearing in mind, I'm not the best at English because dyslexia and I'm tired right now, but I will just always try and put some words down in a review. They're not necessarily the best words in the world, but they're words. This book is a very stereotypical romance with a very modern twist. If you want an easy reading bit of romance, a bit of drama and romance, then this may be for you. I loved another of Annabelle's books that I've read, but sadly this wasn't for me. It felt so entirely cliched, and I didn't enjoy the social media aspect. I pick up a book to stop myself from going on Instagram, and this felt like it was all about it. I have huge respect for Annabelle's writing, but the storyline of this particular book wasn't the best fit for me. I feel like my 3 stars now is quite generous. Yes. Anyway, so day 2, finished another book. Tomorrow we start it all again. And I'm learning that reading is really tiring. So I'll see you tomorrow. I've made an error. I forgot. I've got my crackle candle on. Also, you're probably going to be able to hear this. I'm so sorry. But is that not one of the most ferocious things that you've ever seen? Like, that's mad. That's my running hat drying from the sweat from me running earlier. Is that not just so angry? Like, I literally just spoke and it had a fit. Okay, calm down. Sorry if you can hear it. I won't be long. I forgot to tell you the time it took me to read We Just Clicked. I've already forgotten the name of it. I did forget to turn off my timer when I finished, so I filmed this and then I've literally just had a phone call with my mum and I realised I forgot to turn off my timer, but I've just kind of figured it out from when my mum called backwards for roughly how long I spoke to you guys for, and I think in the end this has taken me 3 hours and 30 minutes, so that's 15 minutes less than Knife Edge. Which kind of makes sense because Knife Edge is a bit more of a serious book, so I would have needed to concentrate a little bit more. So far we're on 6 hours, 7 hours and 15 minutes. 7 hours and 15 minutes of reading, roughly. This is very much a rough estimation of time. But over the week it's going to be very interesting to see how much I read. So, I mean, tomorrow, if that's like another 3 hours, we're going to be up to almost 10 hours of reading. Yeah. Sorry, my brain just broke then. 10 hours of reading, which is mad. It's madness. It'll be day 3 tomorrow, which is weird because it's not day 3 of the week because I started this on an odd day. So that's just to confuse my head. But anyway, you can only probably hear my candle now. You can see it's doing its flickery bit. This thing worries me. I asked for this crackle candle for Christmas and I actually got a few and I'm in love with them. They're amazing. But I cannot have it not in some of my eyeline because I just feel like it's going to go up in flames. Like, I know it's very safe, they're very well sold, but even if I have it here, I'm not doing the dishes in the kitchen, I'm like, is it okay, or is my flat on fire? Because it's ferocious. It's a ferocious boy. Anyway, yeah, I just had to come back and tell you how long it took me to read that book. It is now day 3 of my 7 books in 7 days reading challenge. Now, I can completely admit it's a bit later in the day today, so it's already 1:15. The lighting is probably awful because I've had to put some indoor lights on, but not the strongest ones because else I'll just look a grainy, I don't know, a grainy bag of grains. It is really dark outside. It's very, very wet and grey today, but I want to go out for a walk. I kind of thought that I would have gone by now, and I thought that I would have read more before I go out of my walk, but I've not. So it is what it is. I'm going out for a walk in a minute. It doesn't matter that it's raining. I don't really want to go, but because it's raining, but I know that if I go, I'll feel good for having had some exercise, some gentle exercise. I'm going to do like a really long walk, and it doesn't matter. Like, I texted my mum. My mum was just like, just get in and have a nice warm bath when you get in. I was like, wow, that sounds good, doesn't it? Coming in from the cold and the wet and being all like damp and icky, and just have a nice bath. So that's what I'm going to do. So this morning I did start reading The Uncoupling. Oh no, actually it's called Uncoupling, not The Uncoupling. Uncoupling by Lorraine Brown, which is one of my NetGalley books, which is out, comes out around 18th of February of 2021 this year. So I thought, well, I was trying to look actually to see which of my NetGalley books didn't have like 400 pages, and this one said that it had 368. So I've still not reduced the number of pages, but I do find that it's a lot easier to actually read on my iPad on the Kindle app, so I go a bit quicker. So this morning I read for 1 hour and I got to 37%, which is quite good, I think. So, I mean, we're talking another hour and a half, another hour and 45 minutes, and I could be done. I thought I would have read more by now, but the day is kind of running away with me. Like I say, it's 1:15. I did an hour of reading and then had some breakfast, did one video edit, but unfortunately it was like a 28-minute long video. So the time it takes you to stop and like edit out the bits where I go, what did I say? By the time I've taken out all of those bits, it takes quite a long time to edit and then do the thumbnail and everything as well. So that's probably taken up like an hour of my time this morning, maybe a little bit more. I've just put some hairspray on my hair to hold it as I'm going out into the wilderness. But yeah, 37%. I did kind of today want to just sit and read a massive chunk and then get it over and done with. That sounds so bad. Get it over and done with, essentially. But if you've seen Sex and the City, the movie, name me that scene. I just want to get it over and done with. Can't we just get it over and done with? Name me that scene. Who said that? Who said it? Yeah, so I've done quite a good chunk of reading this morning, but later when I come back from my walk, maybe when I'm in the bath, I can like put the iPad over the edge of the bath, because I'm not about that risky life. Put it over the edge and I'll sit in the bath and read. We'll see. I don't know yet. We'll see how I feel when I get back. So essentially, Uncoupling is about Hannah and Sai, who are on a like overnight long train to Amsterdam for Sai's sister's wedding. And essentially, I mean, I don't really like Sai. He's a bit of a not a nice person. He's not my favourite person in the world. He's not a nice person. Hannah moves coaches because she can't sleep, coaches on the train, and then they separate. And she ends up in Paris while he ends up in Amsterdam. And I think it is a love story. I haven't got into that bit yet. I think it is. If I read the blurb, I'd probably know that it's a love story. But she meets someone new, a French man. So at the moment, they're just kind of chilling and chatting and spending time together, basically passing the hours because they can't, both of them moved onto another carriage and ended up in Paris when they shouldn't be. They should both be in Amsterdam. And they've got a lot of time to pass until they can get the next train to Amsterdam. So I'm kind of at that point in the moment. I'm quite enjoying it. It's nice. It's not amazing. It's not bad. It's nice. I'm reading and I'm like, oh, that's cute. It's kind of heartwarming, a little bit funny. It would be nice to have a female main character that doesn't need rescuing, I'll be honest. I'm kind of at the point where, like, with all these books that I'm reading, the main female character always needs someone else to come and save her. Like, there's always, she's clumsy, she can't, I don't know, get a job, she can't do this for herself, she can't do that for herself, and someone always has to come in and save her. Whether that is another female character that's like hierarchically above her, for example, like a mother or a grandmother, or whether that is a man. And that's kind of, yeah, it's not sitting well with my ethos. And I feel like a lot of books that I'm reading at the moment are kind of doing that. I need one where we've got like a really strong female character and she's not got these things which people see as flaws and weaknesses. Like, I need a book without that. Just for a breakup. Just for a break. But yeah, I am enjoying it still, regardless of that fact. And I thought, actually, I did last night write my review for Knife Edge, and it's not great, but I'll read it to you regardless. If you give me a second and I'll find it. Okay, so this is what I wrote for my review. Finishing this, Father K was going to be one of the weaker, by comparison, books in the series, but still left me wanting to pick up the next instalment. After reading the foreword, I expected it to be a really negative read and pull me down with it. Yet Blackman has done a brilliant job of portraying poor mental health and also sadness, while the reader still being an observer and not within the story themselves. I'm looking forward to picking up Checkmate. I didn't know what to say, did I? So that kind of got some words down. They were positive, you know, kind of said that I didn't think this was going to be the best book, but I did still give it 4 stars, so I still did enjoy it. Yeah. So that's where we're at. We're on day 3, so I've done 2 books so far. I don't think that uncoupling is going to take me that long, but obviously I want to go out for a walk. I need to get out of these walls because I'm just going to lose my marbles. So yeah, I'm going to go out for a walk. My video looks like it's finished uploading. We have been waiting for that to happen as well. So I will get my rucksack together, get my waterproof coat on and go for a walk. And I guess I'll see you later. With some more reading update. I'm bored. Lockdown just makes even your hobbies boring. I think I just need some social interaction. Maybe I'll see a dog on my walk. We can only hope, can't we? I have been on my walk and I walked for about 10 kilometres, I think, in the end, all around like Cardiff Bay and everything. So I'm really tired now. Had a bath and stuff. I didn't actually read in the bath. I thought it was too much of a risky business. But I have done another hour of reading since I got out of the bath. The day seems to have run away today. Like, I don't feel like I've done an awful lot. I mean, 2 hours of reading, edit and upload a video, which I need to check on actually. I assume it's uploaded, I haven't checked. And a 10-kilometre walk. Well, I suppose that is quite a lot in one day. I was just too ambitious of what I can achieve in one day. So I'm actually going really quite well with uncoupling. I feel like it should be called The Uncoupling. Yeah, it should. With uncoupling, I have now read to 84%, and on my iPad it says I have like 20 minutes left. I'm sorry if you can hear my washing machine. I have closed the door, but it's loud. So I am literally gonna finish reading that while my dinner is cooking, because that won't be ready for at least half an hour. So yeah, like I'm quite enjoying it. It's quite nice, a little bit of a different story, which is, I guess, something, I don't know. I'm tired. Giving you these updates at the end of the day is just not good. When I've been sat reading, I just get so tired. When it's dark outside and I read, I get so sleepy. So yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. My walk was very wet and icky, and it's the kind of rain where it just like, no matter, you could have like 5 umbrellas and the rain would still go in your face because it's that misty sideways stuff, which is why I now look like this, because frizzy hair is the way forward when you've been for a wintry walk. I just like called family and stuff and had phone conversations while I was walking because I was bored. I didn't actually want to go for the walk, but I wanted to, you know, exercise in some description. So a 10-kilometre walk fitted the description really, didn't it? So yeah, I will check on my video now actually, and then I will do the last, what is it, 16%? 16%? Yeah, of uncoupling. Should be that uncoupling. It should. Yeah, so far so good. Currently putting it about a 4-star. It depends what the ending is, doesn't it? The ending will really make or break what I give a book and how I rate it. Although I think I'm too tired to give it my full like written review tonight. How can you be tired, Lorna? You don't even have to go to work at the moment. Yeah, I'm too tired, so I'll just finish the book and then do my like whole written review tomorrow. I might speak to you once I finish it. I might not. I might speak to you tomorrow. I don't know at this point. I'm not sure. Currently undecided. Hello, this is Lorna from day 7, coming to you from the future with the realisation that I filmed an awful lot of footage for this 7 books in 7 days video. Now, I've started to take a look at the footage, and I had, before I'd even started day 7, 2.5 hours of footage. So yeah, that's my bad. you can tell that I just have had no one to speak to this week. So what I'm going to do is split this video into 2 halves, so you'll have about an hour per video, I think. So days 1, 2 and 3 will be in this vlog, so the first vlog, and then 4, 5, 6 and 7 will be in the second vlog. And you'll only have to wait a few days to get the second video, but please do watch it as well. Don't just forget about it. I feel like you guys are gonna watch the first one and then just ignore the second one when it comes out. But I did ask on a poll, and I think we've still got 100% for yeah boy I'm ready, when I was like, but will you watch the second one? Let's have a look. Yeah, we're still on 100% for yeah boy I'm ready, and 0 votes for no chance honey. So I mean, those of you who voted for that, you gotta stick with what you said, Hans. So yeah, I guess this is the end of this video. I will wrap this up now, and now I need to film for day 7 for the second vlog, and also an introduction. Now I need an introduction for the second video, and it's, yeah. So if there is any reference in this book to me just continuing, in this film, sorry, not this book. Oh, I've read so much this week. So this just continuing, now you know why. Because I didn't know that I was going to have to split this into two videos. It's an unfortunate turn of events, but, you know, anticipation, just, you know, patience. This is teaching you all patience, so you have to wait for the second video. Anyway, I guess I will see you all in the second video, which will be out in a few days. Thank you very much for sticking with me, because I know that this has been a long vlog. If you get this far, please, you know, leave a comment. Let's pick a word. If you've made it this far into the video, and if you have, I'm proud of you, because I know that this is like an hour long. Please comment down below in the comments, I like big books and I cannot lie. And I will put a little heart and I'll be like, I love you. I love you, thanks for getting this far in the video. Oh, and I'll be so proud, because my blood, sweat and tears has gone into this 7 days. So, and that's just, I guess that's just some enticement to get you to watch the second video as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Happy reading. Bye!